Hi, welcome back to another video. My name is Charlotte and today we're going to do a March wrap up. I'm going to go through all of the books that I've read in the month of March and we're going to see what I think about them. If I've read some books that you might have read this month, or maybe I've read your favorite book ever, please tell me in the comment section so we can talk about them, and hopefully I love them because something else would be very sad. But I don't have many books I didn't like this month. All in all, I read 15 books, but some people might say 10, and we'll get to why a little bit later in the video. But the first book of March was a Raina Kent book. It was God of Malice. I read this when I had my operation earlier this month. Everything is fine, good and dandy now. But I had an operation earlier and I read this while I was in the hospital. And the anesthesiologist was very into what I was reading on my Kindle. And if you have it on your Kindle, this is not the cover on the Kindle. At least not on my Kindle. So as she was asking me what I was reading, what my book was about, my Kindle went into sleep mode and was just like a naked man on the cover. And I've never felt more judged. I could see it in her face. She was like, oh yeah, okay, you're one of those people. And I was like, yeah, what about it? You're the one missing out, not me. And not me. But anywho. First book of the month. God of Malice by Raina Kent. It's the first book in the God of Legacy series. It's about Killian and it's about Glyndon. They go to university somewhere in England, but the university has like two campuses. There's one American campus and there's one English campus. Killian goes to the American one, Glyndon goes to the English one, and these two do not mush. If they meet, it's either to smash or to smash their face in. They don't like each other. They stay away from each other's campuses, but something happens within like the first few chapters where Killian meets Glyndon in a little bit weird of a situation, and it actually gave me a little bit. I was like, I don't know if this book is for me. I don't know. But I kept on reading, and I'm very, very happy that I did, because I turned out to have so much fun. Is Killian a psychopath? Yes, 100% he is. Is it okay though? In a weird way, yes it is. In a weird way, like I don't blame Killian. Can't anything, like, what is Killian supposed to do? Killian can't do anything about who he is. I mean, he probably could, but the fact that he stopped doing like serial killer stuff, and not with humans but with like small animals, it's because his mom started to cry. I was like, he's actually a good boy. Like, he might not have emotions, but he understands emotions, and he also knows very well how to mimic emotion. So he could technically trick Glyndon very much throughout this book, but he keeps on trying to show her that he's being genuine. Like, he's like, yes, I know this and I know that, but I still want to show you that I'm genuine in my actions. And I think that's kind of why I like him. I think that's why Killian kind of, can't do no wrong. I had so much fun. This is my first like real dark romance, because I've only read like lighter dark romances before, or things that I wouldn't necessarily categorize as dark romance, probably a little bit more like taboo romance. So I enjoyed this very much. I gave it 4 stars, very happy. I'm planning on reading the next one in April, but don't hold it against me, because it might be April next year before I actually read it. I'm very bad at sticking to my TBR. Then when I was done with Killian, I went on over to Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. So we have Weston and we have Ada. Weston is the brother of the FMC from the first book. So he is a cowboy baby. I want to be a cowboy baby. Don't know why I said that. Yeah, he's a cowboy. He hires Ada to come and help him fix up the old house where his grandparents used to live on the farm, because nobody's used it for years and years and years. He wants to turn it into kind of like, I want to say like a B&B. So you can live there, you get the ranch experience, and he kind of wants to make it like a hot spot for vacation with kids and families, whatever. If you want to go on like a sweet romantic ranch vacation with the love of your life. Like, he wants to make this an attraction, but he can't do all of the work himself, so they hire Ada to do most of the heavy lifting. I did enjoy their story a lot. What I did enjoy about the story was that you learn very early on that Wes is, well, he's depressed. to put it bluntly. He is on antidepressant. He is working through stuff. You do get to see kind of how his mind works a little bit. And I do really like the representation. We do not talk enough about men's mental health and how important it is to actually take care of your brain. So I did like that. I did enjoy that. I do not like my hair though. Okay, we're back. Hello. I do like that we have the representation. I also like that at some point, because it is an happily ever after type of book, when they start doing the deed. He also talks about how this type of medication can affect his erection, and sometimes it takes longer, even though his brain is ready and he feels like his body is ready. The medication just slows everything down a little bit, and they have a conversation around it. And I think that's great, because not every man, even if they're not on antidepressants. You know what I'm trying to mean. Even if they're not on medication, not every, like they can't always just be, gung-ho and ready. And sometimes they're gung-ho and ready. And when they're done for 12 hours. It's normal. And I like that she's trying to normalize it a little bit more, that every man is different, even though he never has a problem with her, of course. I wish we had a scene where things just didn't really work out because of the medication, and kind of, both of them being like, it's all right, okay? This has nothing to do with you as a person. It has nothing to do with me as a person. This is just how it is today. Because I feel like when a lot of the subjects she touched on in her books are to kind of point out a little bit of the realism of the real world, and that would just have made it a little bit more realistic, well, at least in my opinion. But I gave it 3 stars. I had fun. It was a good time. It was a very good time. I do not complain. I do not complain. Well, no, it was a fun time. It's not my favorite book. It's not my favorite book in the series. I'm not sure if I like it more than the first one. I think they're kind of tied, because the first one was also just, they mention ADHD and how she likes to have things, but it doesn't really go into depth other than that. And that's kind of what I miss when they trying to represent something. You should also at least give us like a page or 2 where you actually represent it. When I was done with Swift and Saddle, I was like, what do I want to do now? I just went over to Lost and Lassoed, but I read it on my Kindle. I do not have a physical copy. I might get a physical copy because the 4th book is coming out, and I kind of want to get that as a physical copy. So I might just get all of them as physical copies at some point, but I don't have it right now. So I went over to, like I said, the 3rd book in the series, which is Lost and Lassoed, also written by Lila Sage. And it's the 3rd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. This one is Single Dad, so it's straight up my alley, because I am in my single dad era. Like if you wronged me and you want to make me happy, just give me a single dad book I haven't read yet, because I love a good single dad, and that is Malachi. That is Malachi's reason. Like, Malachi is the reason I was like, well, I think I like single dads, because Malachi in Caught Up in the Windy City series. Oh, I love a good single dad. I love him. But yeah, so what was I saying? Lost and Lassoed. I went straight on over to that one. That one is about Gus and Teddy. Teddy is the best friend of the FMC from the 1st book, and Gus is the brother of the MMC in the 2nd book and the FMC in the 1st book. So, they're all tied together. They're interconnected standalone, so you can read one without reading the other ones. But if you read them in order, you get, I don't know, the whole story. Depends. Like, do you mind spoilers in your story? I know some people don't. I don't. Like, if I read this one first and I enjoyed the story, I wouldn't mind going back and reading his sister's story, knowing what I know, because you already kind of know how they're going to end anyway. So I don't really look at it as a spoiler. But that's just me. Also, the sun is trying to attack me. Do you see that? Teddy, we were talking. Jesus Christ. Yes, okay, so Teddy and Gus. Teddy is the best friend of the FMC in the 1st book, and like I said, Gus is her brother. They hate each other. Like, this is known throughout, well, all of the books. Like, they banter, they don't like each other. Teddy loses her job, and Gus needs a babysitter for a couple of days a week throughout the summer, while his baby mama is off doing an internship or whatever it is she is doing somewhere else. Of course, they decide that, Teddy knows the family, she knows the kid, it's the best thing. Like, Teddy needs something to do while she's figuring out what to do. So, of course, they're like, well, why not just hire Teddy? And why not just let her live there from, Sunday night to Wednesday morning? Because that makes the most sense. So, of course, he does. and you get to see them not necessarily fall in love, because I have a feeling that at least one of them was already in love. But I love the story. I loved it so much. Gus, I like Gus. And I like that Gus, when he's like, you know what? I want you. And he doesn't give a fuck. And it feels like exactly what Teddy needs as well. She just needs someone to want her and be willing to show the world that they want her, because Teddy is the it girl. Like, every eye is on her. She's funny, she's witty. I feel like she could go home with any guy she wanted at the end of the night, but what she really wants is just for somebody to want her. So I adored them as a couple. I don't really want to tell you guys that much about it, like this one as well, because I feel like a lot of it can just literally be, but I did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun, and who doesn't like a good single dad? You know, not me, because I didn't go straight on into Wild Side by Elsie Silva, the third book in the Rose Hill series, which also accidentally is single dad. Well, this one is more single mom, I feel. I don't feel like Reese is necessarily the single dad in this one. I mean, he is, but I feel like it's more single mom. And I don't mind it. I mean, it's single parent, but like I said, it's the third book in the Rose Hill series. They are also interconnected standalones, so you can read one without reading the other ones. But you do have the timeline that kind of overlaps, so you do get to meet a lot of the characters in at least one specific scene throughout the entire series. So there's one scene in the first book that you also get to see in the second book. Then that's a different scene you get to see in the second book that you also get to see in the third book. It doesn't really have to mean anything. It just means that if you read them in a different order, you know, you will read it and go, oh, I know this scene, which you will if you read it in the correct order also. So I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so this one is about Tabitha and it is about Reese. They both become parents in kind of a very untraditional way, because sadly Tabitha's sister passes away and leaves behind a kid. So of course Tabitha does everything she can to make sure that this kid is loved and feels seen and has a safe space to talk about his mom and ask questions. What she doesn't know is that her sister has already written a will. Reese is guardian. Like, she has put Reese up as guardian of her kid. So he shows up being like, I am going to do whatever I can to make sure that this kid gets everything the kid needs in his life. And you get to know why throughout the story and why this is so important to him and what buttons the sister pushed to make him feel obligated to take care of a kid that technically he doesn't have anything to do with, because he was just supposed to be the landlord. I mean, I am sad to say that out of all of them, this is the one that ranks the lowest. I really did want to enjoy it. It's just that I wasn't prepared to kind of go through the grief with Tabitha. The entire series is a 5-star series for me. I love this series, but this book is like a 4.25. So 4.25. I do have a reading blog out on it, so if you want a more in-depth story of what I feel and why, you can always just go on over to that one and watch that one. But yeah, it's a 4.25. I do enjoy the series. I do enjoy the book. It's just, I don't know. This one feels a little bit different. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. It makes sense in my head at least. What do you do when you've read a single dad book? And then you read like another single parent book. You read another single dad book. Like, what do you mean? Is that even a question? Is that even a question what you do? You read another single dad book. Like, what do you mean? This one is called The Strawberry Patch Pancake House. And I had such a hard time saying that. I do also have a reading vlog out on this one, so I will not talk too much about it. But basically this one is about Iris and about Archer. And Archer is a single dad. He moves to Dream Harbor, and when he moves into his new house, he needs someone to help him take care of his kid. Iris is that person, so it's nanny dad. It's nanny employee. It's funny, it's witty. I love the dynamic between Iris and the kid. Well, I kind of also like that you see the dynamic between the dad and the kid. I'm not going to spoil on how he becomes a dad, because that's also very untraditional. I don't spoil it in the reading vlog either. But I know a lot of people didn't like it, and I know a lot of people don't like that he keeps on referencing like his old life. I didn't mind. I felt like it was just that he was trying to understand the entire situation. He was trying to understand why things were the way they were. And so I didn't mind it. I had a lot of fun reading this one. I think this is actually my favorite one in the Dream Harbor series. And before this one, my favorite one was the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. They have so long titles. Why do all the titles have to be a mile long? This is my favorite one, and I have to tell you guys, I don't really care for the last one. I know a lot of people sit here and they're like, oh my god, I really want an Annie and a Max story because they've been bickering for 4 seasons now. I don't really mind. If this is the last one, if something happens and we do not get the last one, I don't mind. This is my favorite. But I can't remember what I rated it. Like a 4.5? I think it was a 4.5. Because I did ironically enjoy it more than this one. So this is the 4.5. Yes, a 4.5. But I will put the reading vlog down in the description if you want to go and watch it. So that's that. Now I have to check. Well, what did I read after that one? What did I read after that one? Oh yeah, I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is my first Emily Henry book. I'm not impressed. I'm sorry to say. I didn't have as fun as I thought I was going to have. People rave about Emily Henry. People say that her writing is fantastic, which it is. There's nothing wrong with her writing. I just didn't enjoy it that much. I felt like the FMC was very whiny, but that might also be my mood when I started to read it. I was not in a good mood when I started reading this. So that might be why I thought that she was very moody, because I did also switch to audiobook on this one. And she didn't seem moody in the audiobooks. I think it was just my brain. It was something wrong with. But yeah, I didn't like it. This one is about January and Augustus, or Gus as he's been known as. And they're both writers and they are both broke. Something happens in January's life and she accidentally ends up living next door to Gus. And they decide that they're gonna put their rivalry to the test. They're going to see who can write the best book, who can get published first by writing the other one's genre, because he thinks that she only writes lovey-dovey love stories and she feels that he's cynical as fuck. So the premise of the book is good, but I just felt like they ended up just being best friends. If the epilogue was her being his best man at his wedding, I would enjoy that. I didn't feel them as characters getting together. I didn't root for their story. I didn't root for them becoming a couple. So I didn't have such a good time. I did give it 3 stars though, because I did enjoy the writing. I didn't root for the couple. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if this is your favorite Emily Henry book. I am going to read more by Emily Henry though, but just not right now, because right now, I've just read this one and I didn't have a good time. I didn't have a good time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Emily Henry. I feel like this is a little controversial of me. But I really enjoyed this book. This is Story of My Life by Lucy Score. It's my first ever Lucy Score book. It's a lot of firsts, I feel. No, yeah, it is. It is. Is it thick as fuck? Yes. Does it have to be this thick? No, it definitely doesn't have to be this thick. But this one is about Hazel, and Hazel is going through it in Pennsylvania. She's not thriving at all. She's not having fun. She can't write books. She has a writer's block. She's going through a divorce. Life is just sucky. Sucky, put it mildly. Then I think she gets drunk, which more power to you. Don't get drunk randomly. It's not worth it, but that's neither here nor there. She reads an article about, I want to say a family firm that does renovations in a small town, and she's like, I want to live in a small town. I'm a writer. I write about small towns all the time. Shouldn't I live there and get the small town experience that I'm writing about? So she buys a house. Sight unseen, calls her best friend and she's like, hey Bessie, and her bestie's like, yeah sure, I'll go on a road trip with you, why not? I had fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Hazel as the FMC. I enjoyed Campbell as the MMC. Is it a little bit too long? Yes, it is. There are stuff in here that did not need to get into the final cut, okay? It didn't have to be this long, but I had fun. And I know a lot of people say that Hazel comes off as a little bit dumb. She comes off as, yeah, just dumb, basically. I don't feel like she comes off as dumb necessarily. I feel like she's more impulsive and whimsical and doesn't really always think about the consequences of her actions, or she just decides to blatantly ignore it. So that's kind of how I decided to look at it, and maybe that gave me a little bit more of the book. The banter is fantastic. There is a what is it? A raccoon. I was about to say a beaver, but that's wrong. There is a raccoon in here that, it's fantastic for comic relief. I didn't tab it, but I did sometimes highlight some stuff in the book because I thought it was funny. So, like this one. I'm starting to question the sanity of fictional women everywhere. How would you not hold a pillow over his face after a while? She asked Zoe. Zoe being the best friend. Fictional women are more patient and better rested, Zoe said. And I agree. Okay? Because sometimes you just want to hold a pillow over his face. That's Cam's excited face, Darius jokes. It's also his hungry and happy face. He's really economical with his facial expressions. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I had fun. I gave it 4 stars. I had so much fun with this one. Maybe it's more like a 3.75, but who gives a fuck? I gave it 4 stars. It made me really want to read more of Lucy's Score as well, because for whatever reason, I think it's because of the covers. I've just had it in my brain that it's YA and it's not for me. So why would I? Why would I? That's an excellent question. Never judge a book by its cover, but I did. So I need to open my drink. Battery, it's not acid, I promise. It's peach berry, so it's peach and raspberry. Now we have come to the part of the day where I tell you guys about the 5 books that you can also mush into one, and that is the Mindfuck series. Because I read the entire Mindfuck series. I did register them 1 book at a time, because in my mind, they are like, if you get the thick one on Amazon, it says book 1 to 5. So it's 5 books. In my mind, it's 5 books. I've registered on Goodreads as 5 books. But we're going to talk about the entire series, but I can't remember what happens in which book, because there's so much that happens. But the Mindfuck series is basically about a female serial killer, and you do not get many of them, okay? Your serial killers are usually men, so you also know that serial killers, like if it's men or if it's male or if it's female, they leave different types of clues, and they usually do different stuff, either to the bodies or the way they kill it or something like that. She uses this for her advantage. She only kills bad men. She does not kill random people. She's not like she's walking down the street and she goes, hey, you look pretty, come over here and I'm gonna kill you. She only kills men that has wronged her or other people she cares about in her life. She accidentally starts dating her FBI agent, the man that is literally looking into her case, trying to figure out who she is and why she's killing these people and who's going to be the next one, because they want to stop her. That's the premise of the book. I'm not going to tell you much more than that. The writing is very simple. It's not a literary masterpiece. The storytelling is also very simple. A lot of the stuff that happened, I could see for miles away. Did I have fun? Yes, I did. I read the entire series in, I want to say 2 days. I want to say I read it in 2 days. Yeah, I think it's 2 days. I read the entire series. I had so much fun. The fact that it was 5 smaller books, so every book was like between 100 and 150 pages. All in all, it's like 650 something pages. I don't know. It helped me just read them faster. I don't know why. I don't think I would have even picked up the book if it was just written as 1 book and it was over 600 pages. But I did. And oh my God, I'm so happy I did. It is kind of like a 5-star series, but at the same time, I think all in all, it's like a 4.5. It's not really all the way up there for me. 4.5, it is good, but the writing isn't fantastic. The storytelling also is a little bit sometimes, but that's me. I enjoyed this one, and I know a lot of people don't like it, so hey ho. Then when I was done with the Mindfuck series, I was like, do you know what I need more of? Do you know what I need more of? Murder. So I read Sunrise on the Reaping. I still think about that book every single day. I wish I could give Hamish a hug. If you do not know what Sunrise on the Reaping is, yeah, and I also have it as a physical copy, but I did already let a friend borrow it, so I don't have it with me as of right now, but it's gonna go on my trophy shelf. Sunrise on the Reaping is the 5th book in the Hunger Games installment, so we finally get Hamish's story, and Hamish is the mentor in the first 3 books, so we already kind of know how the book is going to end because it's a prequel to the original Hunger Games trilogy. I was not prepared for the emotions this book was going to put me through. I was not prepared for all the characters you were going to see that you didn't even know you needed. You didn't know that you needed these people to come back into your life. I cried like a little... And then I fixed my makeup and I went to a stand-up comedy show. It's 5 stars. It's fantastic. I also have a reading vlog out on that one, so we're not going to talk much more about it. If you need to know more, you can always ask me in the comments so you can go watch that video and see if I answer any of your questions. Which I probably don't because it's spoiler-free. But, you know, it's, we can talk. We can talk. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Now, hey Mitch, I thought it was going to be the final one. I didn't really see who else you could get a story from, but I have seen theories on TikTok, and I just have to say that if we get Tigress or if we get Plutarch's story, I wouldn't mind. Last book of the month, I started the Zodiac Academy. Who knew? Who knew? I knew because I did it. I also finished it. This one is about Tori and Darcy. They live in the moral world where we live. At least I live there. I can't say much about you. But they are 18. They've not have the best of lives. So when when one person, it's just one person, shows up and tells them that they're Fae and they have to enroll in this Zodiac Academy because they are the heirs to the throne and they have to graduate from Zodiac to get their inheritance and the right to the throne, they don't really question it. I question it a lot. I would be like, okay, where is this? Like, if we fail, do we go back to the mortal world? Like, what happens? Like, I have so many questions, but none of them are asked, so none of them are answered. You do get both of them's POV. You do get a chapter from Tori, then you get a chapter from Darcy, which I do enjoy. They are twins, and when they come to the Zodiac Academy, they have to figure out what elements they have. So it's either earth, wind, fire or water. And if you're very special, you have 2 of the elements, but most people just have 1. So you get to follow them along and you get to figure out what element they have and how they try and just fit in a world where they know nothing. Like, people can compel them and make them do weird stuff and they can't really do anything about it. Like, it's their body just does it even though their mind doesn't want to do it. So they have to learn how to shield. They have to learn how to control their element. And it is a bully romance. So they get bullied from, chapter 3. Technically, they've had a rough life, so they've probably been bullied before. But they do get bullied very early on. And even though, I knew they were bullying them, I knew that they were being mean to these girls. The moments when they were being nice, I found myself being like, oh my God, I really wish this is genuine. I hope that they are genuine with them and that they will find a friend in one of these mean boys. But so far, no luck. But there is 9 books in the series and I've only read 1 of them. And one of the things that I did enjoy was that it's literally set over, I want to say max 14 days. 10 days, something like that. So you do get a very in-depth experience of how it is for them to start at this school. And I hope in a way that the series will keep on going like that. I hope that you will get to follow along on the smaller stuff. And if they do a time jump, it's not the biggest time jump, that it's not half a year later or this later. It's a week or 2. But you do get to follow along. But I don't know. This was a 3 stars though. It was fun. I had fun, but it was just that. It was fun. I don't really know what else to say. I enjoyed it. And that was the last book I read in March. Oh my God. That was my last book I read in March. Have you read any of them? Did you enjoy them? Do you want to tell me more about them? But yeah, no. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your precious time with me. If you read any of them, please tell me. If you want to read any of them, please tell me. Let's chat about it. And just a little side note, this one, I am going to make small videos about me reading the series, but on TikTok. So I'm gonna link my TikTok down in the comment section as well, just in case you would want to follow along and hear me say stupid shit while I read a book. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your precious time with me. I really, really do appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.